The EyeCare Institute, Butchertown Clinical Trials. This man is the man in charge. He is Mark Prussian, the CEO of the EyeCare Institute and the man who runs Butchertown Clinical Trials. Mark, welcome back.
Thanks for having me, John. I appreciate it.
I think clinical trials are so interesting because we hear about, how much they can change people's lives and how much research is done to introduce new products. But for those who aren't aware, exactly what is a clinical trial?
So that's a great place to start, John. A clinical trial is a scientific experiment where we test something new to improve health or to cure or treat something or to reduce pain or suffering versus something that's either already proven to work or versus a placebo, like sugar water.
Okay.
They happen all day long in the United States. About 3 million people are currently participating in clinical trials.
Now, I have to admit, when I think about a clinical trial, I think about life-saving treatments, saving people's lives. Is that the case?
So you're right. Everything that happens in clinical trials with life-saving treatments occurred first during a clinical trial. That's what you typically see on TV shows with, hospital theme or doctor theme TV shows. But every single thing that you ever got from a pharmacist that was written by a doctor by prescription went through the clinical trials process, whether it's an allergy medication or an eye drop or anything more simple than that. Basically anything that's not over the counter went through a clinical trials, and that includes devices like wheelchairs or canes or things like that as well. So you're right, it's for life-saving, but it's also not for life-saving. It's for more regular parts of everyday life.
I have to ask you, Mark, as a CEO of the EyeCare Institute, it's been a very successful entity. What made you want to get into clinical trials? I'm just curious.
So thank you for asking that. As it turns out, we were doing 1 or 2 clinical trials at a time for a long, long time, for years and years. And over time, we have seen a huge growth in eye care clinical trials as more and more treatments have come out for more and more ways to improve your vision or ways to alleviate discomfort. Here in the Ohio River Valley, we have a lot of allergic eye conditions, especially coming up as soon as the cold weather breaks. And so more and more opportunities were presented to us. In fact, so many more that it was time to break away our little clinical trials fledgling business from our medical practice. And so we came up with the name Butchertown Clinical Trials because we have been successfully in Butchertown for a long time now. And it's going great for us.
I think it makes sense, and I appreciate because of your leadership, both entities are successful. So let's talk about the clinical trials that are going on now, some of the past success that you've had, Mark, because you have had success with this. Talk a little bit about what people can see or be part of.
Thank you. Okay, so first of all, we have done over 350 clinical trials, which are huge by almost anybody's standards. In fact, it caused us to build a building around the corner from our main medical practice. The building is on Spring Street between Melwood and Story Avenue. And we are currently doing right now 33 clinical trials. We have done artificial intelligence clinical trials. We have done all sorts of other clinical trials, including and especially eye care clinical trials. And we've got a really exciting one coming up now.
All right, so let's talk about that. If someone wants to be a part of a clinical trial, many advantages. So if you would, from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, here, but not only can it improve your life if you're suffering from the condition that you're looking for here, you get paid for your time, right? And you're part of help other people around the country, around the world. And this has already happened before. So what other advantages is that pretty much on point?
So you're exactly right. When you participate in a clinical trial, you get the treatment that you need for free. So that has a big advantage to many or almost everyone. You get any medication that's involved in the trial for free. You get paid for your time for being there, and you get the satisfaction of knowing whether it worked and was successful or whether it wasn't, that you've helped other people. You're not the only one suffering from that. Whether it is a severe clinical trial, like a life-saving clinical trial, or sinus medication or an allergy eye drop, it all helps improve lives.
So what are you looking for now? So, Mark, what do we look for? Because there's folks out there who say, oh, that sounds like a pretty good deal. I'll jump in.
That's right. So there is a huge amount of research going on right now to get rid of reading glasses. You know, the half-eye reading glasses that you can get at any drugstore or discount store. So, for instance, one eye drop was approved, which we worked on the clinical trials for. There are currently 7 other clinical trials going on. 5 are for eye drops. 1 is for a nasal spray, and 1 is for a surgical implant, so you don't have to wear reading glasses. And generally, to participate in any of these clinical trials, we're looking for people who need to wear reading glasses to read, which means you need them about here, 8 to 12 inches away. And sometimes you may need them to see in the distance, but not always, somewhere around here. You need to be generally healthy. So for these clinical trials, we're looking for people that don't have other serious medical conditions. And currently, we're looking for people without other eye disease. So if you have glaucoma or diabetic eye disease, you wouldn't qualify for this trial. That doesn't mean you wouldn't qualify for other trials, but you wouldn't qualify for this one, John.
If you would, the last time you were on the show, Mark, we talked about these eye drops that you guys help innovate, which have now been approved.
Yeah.
I think this is an amazing story. Tell us about those eye drops and what they exactly do.
So one of the most exciting things that we do that really adds to the economy of Greater Louisville is participate in clinical trials to the point at which something becomes FDA approved, because it means a lot of people come into our center from out of town and out of state. They're buying airplane tickets and renting rental cars and staying in hotel rooms to make sure that we end up doing trials that are accurate and truthful. So this particular trial, which I'm very proud of, our 15th, is an eye drop that lasts for 6 hours, and it improves your distance from about here to about here, so that when you're reading, you don't need glasses at all, and it does not change your distance vision. So if you could see a stop sign, it's not going to change that. It just improves your vision from here to here.
You just put in the drops and man, that's amazing.
That's right.
So again, with our final 30 seconds here, Mark, for folks who want to participate in one of these clinical trials, what do they need to do?
Well, call us at 502-219-7700 or visit butchertown.clinic. We've got a complete list of all the trials we're recruiting for at butchertown.clinic, or give us a call. They'll need to come in for a free, painless screening, and then we can talk to them about what might be right for them.
All right. Mark Prussian, thank you for your time. Appreciate that. Continued success to you. Man, you're really making a difference. Thank you so much.
Thank you, John.
All righty. Once again, Mark Prussian with the EyeCare Institute and Butchertown Clinical Trials. Okay, coming up here, we talk about making positive changes in the community, doing something